Hello? Can you hear me, everybody? Can you hear me? What's going on, guys? What's going on? We got a chapter. We got a chapter. I didn't realize it was AJ Beckel's birthday. That's exciting. That's very close to the person who plays Momo, Abby Trott, as well. Hi, guys. Hi, girlies and gamers. What's going on, everybody? Yeah. So, another week, another chapter. For once, we're back at the point where we can say another week, another chapter. It's time. It's time. Obviously, I mean, I think that this chapter is less monumental in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, it's less monumental as like last week, which is, you know, it's okay. It's okay to take a break from the stress of interpersonal drama so that we can focus on some of the plot moving. Hi, everyone. Well, I mean, to be honest, Tuma, there's a lot of implications. There's a lot of implications about generally where we're at with Dandadan as a consequence of this chapter. And we'll get into that. The stories do unfortunately have to have plot sometimes, of course. We don't need to be stressed every week. But, you know, there are things to be stressed about in here. You know, like, is JIJI fucking dead? Is Kinta fucking dead? You know? This is the question. No, this is it, Tarantado. I mean, so what we tend to do here is we'll kind of just generally talk. We'll generally talk about the chapter before, and then we'll just jump in to going through the chapter panel by panel and use it to kind of as a jumping off point for discussion. You know, I mean, look, I think that, I mean, there are a lot of people involved. There are a lot of players involved with this specific situation. There are a lot of different, you know, different like players involved, right? Obviously. But interestingly, it also feels like the actual focus, like the team is being kind of cut down. It's like being shaved down. I mean, at this point, all that we've really got on the actual cards at the moment, besides Peeny Weenie, is Momo, Ida, and Okarun. And I can only presume that they're going to be doing something with that. Okarun telling the truth, you know, Okarun telling the truth is clearly front and center with this arc, or at least this mini kind of arc that's nestled inside of the amnesia plot, just generally, you know. Do you think he has dual flavor? No, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. Yeah. Wait, yeah, no. I thought that they were a separate entity from Vlad. I don't know. I mean, look. the exact status of yeah, I thought that these knights are a rival family. I'm pretty sure that was what was indicated in a previous thing. But what that means is that there is a general understanding of Okarun's status, as well as Turbo Granny and her powers. We're in an interesting spot, because I feel like the more that we are getting information, and it is coming to us, but this stuff is still being kind of fed out, bled to us quite slowly. It's still quite a big mystery. We're still in mystery territory. And it's quite good. I enjoy that. Like, I like being in mystery territory with this kind of stuff, just because it is, you know what I mean? Long time fan, first time chatter. I hate that. Great. Love it. But, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, look, the fact is, I don't think that we are supposed to really know. Really, but I mean, what we can do is talk to the kind of situation, that we're currently at with the characters, you know. Okurun is again quite focal here, you know. It is interesting that they outright said that they're not interested in the powers of acrobatic Silky, so that they are fully aware. They're fully aware of everybody's powers here, right? They've got the intel. So if they're not with CSG, which I didn't feel like they were when they were introduced, that means they have information on them. So it's like public domain at this point. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. This seems to be the kind of conversation that's being had about Okurun, is whether or not, and this is the big question, whether or not Okurun still has some kind of latent part of Turbo Granny's powers. And you know, I wouldn't mind that, because obviously we know that Turbo Granny cares more than she lets on about everybody here. And the idea that she would leave them high and dry without any abilities doesn't really ring true with me either. The spiritual power of the balls, yeah, maybe. I mean, obviously, like, her powers can be split, right? It makes you wonder. It makes you wonder, actually, like the whole nature of the balls, right? Like, Okurun didn't get noticeably more powerful when he had the balls. I know this sounds fucking hell, man. This series, no, right? When Okurun lost his balls, right? When Okurun lost his balls, he still had Turbo Granny's powers, okay? But when he got them back, he didn't get like a power boost because he got his testicles back. Right, despite the fact that they did have some kind of spiritual, and yeah, they were coated in spiritual energy, exactly, right? So, if they were powerful enough to power a variety of different alien stuff, surely that means that getting them back would also offer some kind of power boost, right? This is it. Like, I wonder to what degree. Well, but this is the point, though, right? Surely that means that if he was as powerful as he ever had been when he did, maybe he got a power boost when he got his balls back, but I didn't see it. You know what I mean? Or perhaps that's just an inconsistency with the story. It would be nice if his balls had some kind of leftover. It would be nice if his balls had some kind of leftover energy in it. I mean, I think that Turbo Granny would have taken her powers back. The question is whether or not she left anything behind, right? I don't know. I'm glad to hear that too, man. I'm also really happy to be that everybody's back and we're talking about the series again in the way that we're talking about it, especially after the hiatuses, the hiatus, the hiati. But I don't know. It's a curiosity, you know. I would love. Honestly, I'm really enjoyed seeing Okurun without his powers. I've enjoyed him being depowered. Like, genuinely, I've enjoyed it a lot. I do miss his turbo form. Though. I gotta say it. You know, if we could get that shit back, like, it would be fucking hype, right? Could you imagine? That thumbnail would spoil so much for so many people. Yeah, with the dissecting the balls, that's crazy. No, but like, I you know what I mean? Like they were coated in spiritual energy. And even if you were to make the argument that they were just holding that spiritual energy, right? Like what, how does that work? You know what I mean? Like, how does that work exactly? What are the logistics of this? Because if Okurun got Turbo Granny's powers after she already had his balls, right? Then either Okarun never had Turbo Granny's full power, or it doesn't really make sense. If that, you know what I mean? Because if they were powerful enough for the Kerr to want them that badly, so that they could create the portal to bring their army through, then surely that means that they have some kind of innate power, either injected in them by Turbo Granny, or a power that is innate to the balls. You know what I mean? So, him having his balls back, surely there's something in there. There could be some element of her powers left in his testicle. No, there could be some kind of powerful energy left in his testicles. As a consequence of that. What do you think? Hi everyone. Sorry, I squeaked there. I squeaked when I left there. What a sentence. Hey, this is what I'm saying. No, if you're jumping in now and you haven't read Dandadan, then that's on you. Because this conversation is actually one of the most tame conversations you could have about Dandadan. Whether or not he has any extra power left in his balls. You know? That's all that matters. And you know what? Blissy? I can honestly say no. I didn't expect to be in this situation, but life comes at you. Life comes at you, you know? Sometimes opportunity, it falls in front of you, and you go, I gotta pick that shit up, and I'm gonna talk about testicles. You know? Well, this is it, Toaster. This is it. Like obviously, I don't know exactly. Life. I don't know. This is a good question. This is a good question. I mean, a human being, if you think about it, a human being has the capacity. A human being has the capacity to turn into a yokai, which is a source of unlimited power. So that power, that energy comes from somewhere. And humans have some capacity to do that. And it can't be testicles, because obviously, like, it's not just males that turn into yokai. So, I don't know. Who knows? In fact, how many male yokai have we even really seen? You know? I mean, look. The Pinocchio thing, I think it's... Look, Dandadan's really interested. Dandadan's really interesting in the sense that, obviously, the physical combat situations... the physical combat situations turn into... are reflective of a greater, a deeper emotional stakes underneath. No, Homer mentioned Futa as well. He was also a male. So, yeah, I suppose a few. But anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so obviously the emotional and the physical are very much... they work in tandem, right? There's that kind of relationship between the two. But, I mean, most notably, that you reach an emotional crescendo or some kind of point that the characters can't overcome, a hurdle in their kind of emotional selves, and then these are expressed and typically resolved via some kind of vehicle, like combat vehicle. So it's interesting to see that it's quite on the nose with Okarun this time, which is that he lied, right? Like, he lied to Momo about the whole date thing, and then this is also being reflected literally in the combat situation that they're in, right? So the question is, what makes sense resolution-wise that would then also work with that to kind of fill the gap of that emotional issue as well. I mean, I think most notably, a lot of this is reminiscent. A lot of this is very reminiscent of the Serpo arc. I feel like, and again, I don't expect that this stuff is an absolute one-to-one, but this, I feel like the most obvious kind of situation here to fix this is for Okurun to tell the truth to Momo. You know, him and Ida, that situation is also very similar. Is also very similar to the Serpo arc as well. But look, it's the only way that ties everything up. It's the only way that ties everything up, you know? No, not all yokai are in actual, like, Japanese, it's called yokaiology, right? But in that, no, not all yokai are. Human objects can turn into yokai. But in Dandadan, we haven't seen anything beyond humans turning into yokai. I mean, like, an umbrella turning into a ghost is not massively interesting when it comes to this kind of series, you know what I mean? But anyway, I don't know. I'm intrigued. It's funny because on one hand, I don't think that they're going to do things identically to the Serpo arc insofar, because look, that was a long time ago, and it felt like a lot of the movement in the relationships back then were quite incremental, right? Like, things just happened slower because the relationship was building up for the first time. But let's be real, we're not going to be doing every single beat for beat thing that happened back then in the same kind of frequency that we had, that we were seeing it as well, because that would take too long. Do you know what I mean? A lot of the stuff that we need to get wrapped up, we need to just get it wrapped up, rather than spending multiple arcs on it. Do you know what I mean? I think this might be one of the big resolutions for Momo and Okurun, in regards to their trust, if that makes sense. Yeah. I don't know. Look, the Pinocchio thing, I mean, even look, when you think about the nature of how they're filling out the hi Sky, when you think about the nature of how they're filling out this this like selection of characters, like, to what extent you could say that the Red Baron, Nuglover, Sir Shits-a-lot, to what extent you could say that he's actually, Red Riding Hood is... He wears a hood that's red that one time, you know? No, it's a different Sky. It's a different Sky. It's Sky the chatter, not Sky the catter. But, you know, so I'm curious. No, not Sky. It's a different Sky. It's Sky the chatter, not Sky the catter. Okay? Yes, exactly. Thank you, Sky. That's Sky's... You know? Anyway. I don't know. It's a curiosity to me, you know? I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see how this unfolds. Just generally, I just want to see how it unfolds at this point. I feel like we've kind of got all of our ducks in a row, with kind of theorizing how it might go. I'm pretty locked in to the general kind of vibe of what it is that we're getting, which is, I presume Momo and Okurun are going to come to... I mean, if it is Momo and Okurun and Ida, it would be interesting for Okurun and Momo to fix this trust element, with Ida being kind of like party to seeing it. You know what I mean? like I think that Ida seeing that happen would be interesting. I'm very curious how they're gonna do this, though. I mean, I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's crazy because like a year ago, right? Yeah, we'll give you a personal to chatter role. Yeah, you can have it. Discord, if you want to join the Discord. If you want to join the Discord, people, Patreon link is in the description. Join my Patreon as a free member. That's free. It's free membership. You don't have to pay a thing to get access to the Discord. It's the best place on the internet for Dandadan, and that is confirmed. That's confirmed. That's confirmed. I've asked around. I've asked around. Anybody would agree. In fact, you know what? Hold on. Hold on. Is the best place on the internet for Dan. Yeah, no. There you go. There you go. Anyway, what was I saying? Anybody who says no is not forgiven. Will never be forgiven. Anyway, what were we saying? Yeah, right. So a year ago, we were talking about basically this arc, more or less, right? More or less. And it's funny how things have kind of come around, right? Because I felt that Okurun, there would be a situation where Okurun would have to kind of sacrifice, or Momo would have to sacrifice. One of the two would have to sacrifice to save the other, right? And I'm still not. For a while there, I kind of was like, you know, this theory's kind of fallen to the wayside because obviously we got through the Tiny Momo stuff and she lost her powers, right? But it's funny how fortune works, because it's quite possible that Okurun could two birds, one stone this, right? Where he could find out the nature of whether or not he still has powers, and also save Momo as a consequence of that. Because that would... Look, all I'm saying is if somebody captured Momo, if somebody caught Momo and said that if he surrenders his powers, then they'll let her go, right? And we've already seen that they're not above doing that just generally. And Okurun, like, whether he had powers or not, offered to do that if they'd let her go. It would showcase how much he cares about her to Momo, right? That would clearly do the job. That would do the job. And then also we could find out the nature of whether or not he still has these powers or something. Maybe he needs to unlock them somehow. I don't know. Or maybe he doesn't have the powers at all. But I'm still not against that happening, right? Otherwise, it could be that CSG has... it could be that CSG has fed them false information. Who knows at this point? You know? But that would reforge that trust real good. That would be very cool, Human Dynamo. That would be very cool. That would be fucking sick, actually. And... For the record, remember, insofar as the story is concerned, Pinocchio became a real boy because he sacrificed his life to save his father, Geppetto, right? You know what I mean? Self-sacrifice is one of the great evidence of humanity, you know, because it's one of those things that goes against all the biological indications that you might have, right? You know what I mean? Like, the idea that a being would willingly sacrifice its life for another being is something that requires at least some degree of consciousness, right? You know what I mean? My theory can still happen, Hoops. That's what I'm saying. in line, for the record, in line with the way that clearly democracy works. The majority of you said yes, therefore is 100% yes. Sorry, guys. Anybody who voted no, it's okay. You agree with me. You agree with me. That's... You know what, Sky? You know what? You convince us. Come over to... When you're on the Discord, please come over and convince us of your worldview. Please, please. First past the post, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So, 87% of you said yes. Therefore, 100% of you said yes. You know? Oh, they're already there. Well, that's exciting. Oh, yeah, I see it. That's exciting. I'm very happy. Thank you for joining. We've had quite an uptick, actually. We've recently had a bit of an uptick in members and things like that. And I'm really pleased. I'm really pleased by that, to be honest. Like, you know, it's good to see, especially right now, because there's so much negativity surrounding the current situation in Dandadan, the current context of Dandadan. I'm not really fucking interested in being a negative Nancy about shit. For me, it's just really important to just enjoy the thing that you enjoy. I enjoy this. The people on the Discord enjoy this. It's a nice reprieve. Like, places like Reddit used to be my go-to once upon a time. But I don't fucking go there anymore because it's just so negative. And I know that not everybody here is a chatter, right? I appreciate and I love all of you chatters, right? But I also, at my heart, I don't typically engage in most communities that I've been in. So I appreciate the lurkers. I'm at my heart a bit of one. So those of you who are lurking, please feel free to say yes on the poll. I appreciate you guys and I adore you guys. The lurkers are the people who keep this kind of stuff going, right? Like, they're the majority here. They must be. You know, not everybody is willing to speak. And I appreciate that. I appreciate you. You know? Yeah, life is better this way, guys. Life is better this way. I really enjoy just sitting here and chatting about Dandadan, as we've been doing for the past half an hour, and we haven't even looked at the chapter. But if guys, if you only big lurkle, yeah, there you go. If you only want to lurk, please do. If you want to engage. You know, I'm not always the best at reading the comments as they come sent in, but I try my best. All right, I try my best. Sometimes I get wrapped up. Sometimes I get too wrapped up in something that I'm talking about, and I'll see the comments go by, and I'll be like, I'll get to it, and I never do. So I apologize if that's happened to any of you guys. The blue balls of destiny. Fuck yeah, that's what I'm saying, Sabine. That's what I'm saying. Yes, this is what I'm saying. At least I have all chat on this time. That's true, I do. I actually do. Jean-Rook Picard. Engage! Indeed. Now, that's also good. I also enjoy that... I also enjoy the fact that there are people who just kind of have it on in the background. That's like really... That's really cool. I find that really cool. Because I'm also that kind of person as well. I will just put on... like a podcast or a video just while I'm doing dishes or something, and I won't be watching it, I'll just be listening, you know. Hi, Nicholas. Glad to hear it. Very pleased to hear it. Very pleased to hear it. Very pleased to hear it. Great. I hope that it is of interest to you, Garrett. You know, I enjoy that. I like that people listen to it more than anything else, you know. That's crazy, Tarantado. I love that. Oh, that's amazing. That is such a compliment. That is such a fucking compliment, by the way. I love watching videos while I eat. Oh my god. What an amazing compliment. That is the greatest status that you can achieve in this life. Anyway, right. We need to actually look at this chapter. Alright? We need to actually look at this chapter. Because there are fucking dinosaurs in it. Do you guys see this shit, by the way? The dinosaurs? Do you guys see the goddamn dinosaurs? Anyway. Let's keep 50-50. 50-50. I like that. I like that. Eating and watching right now. I love that. That's so good. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you, Skelly B. Anyway. So the chapter begins. The chapter begins with Momo watching JIJI get fucking eaten. Getting eaten. Crazy. And she's shocked, obviously. To be expected. Because this is her, at least this version of Momo's, first run-in with prehistoric animals. I know, dead in the middle. How crazy is that? You know? To Jurassic Park, exactly. Yeah, I know. The evil eye is definitely going to bust out of its stomach. You know what I mean? Crunch. Yeah, no, this is the thing. I'm glad that it didn't bite down, right? I'm sorry, but that's ridiculous. This is the most ridiculous fucking visual I've ever seen in my life. Look, it's just... It fucking swallows him whole. I'm almost obviously surprised. I bet him... No, I hate that. The Sarah eating chips noise. No. Thanks, I appreciate the fact that you translated that to American for our friends here. Crispies. Eating crisps. No worries, Hoops. Catch ya. That's crazy. No, I don't think so. I think that the dinosaur's toast. Either that or it just, like, climbs its way out. You know? Oversized udon noodle. That's crazy. Snake thinks JIJI is tasty. Tasty. I want some more. No, he swallows him. There's no problem. And obviously Momo's shouting, stop, 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 stop. A second language vocab. That's crazy. Are you speaking American right now? Yeah, you know what, Orbis? He's right. It gets weirder. He's right. It gets weirder. To be fair, this chapter was over very quickly. This chapter felt like it was over super quickly. You know what's even fucking funnier? Momo, for an actual second here, she is legit just like, oh, is this one of the attractions? I don't think so. I feel like there's a health and safety problem here. That's true. She doesn't... Well, I assume she wouldn't be able to see the evil eye in the same way that... normal people couldn't see the evil eye after he first kind of, like, merged with JIJI. They just thought it was JIJI doing all of these things. I imagine it's the same kind of thing as that, right? You know? You can't clip. I don't know. That's weird. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I feel like after, I mean, this is going to be a great test actually. Now that I think about it, because when they got pulled through to empty space last time, at the end of the fight, Momo obviously couldn't walk and was basically out of energy. That's exactly what happened when she first got her powers, right? Like she basically passed out later on. Although I suppose that was after she just got the shit kicked out of her by the Flatwoods monster, so maybe I'm incorrect. I don't know. I feel like surely she used her chi in that fight when she channeled it into Okarun, right? He drained her chi. Surely she'd be able to see it now, right? I feel like she'd be able to see it at this point. But I suppose for her though, she needs to kind of awaken, right? So I don't know. I suppose we'll find out next week in that regard. We'll find out next week when she sees Ida whether or not she sees her as Akira Silky or not. Because, I mean, how would that look? I'm curious about how that would look. Like, if Akira Silky is flying around using her hair, what is that going to look like from Momo's perspective? Do you know what I mean? Has clipping been disabled? I don't think it's been disabled. I don't think clipping's been disabled. Or at least I haven't disabled anything. Ida's really into gymnastics. But surely it would look like she's either using her hair normally or she's just levitating. Yeah, just floating. I feel like that's weirder. That's weirder than... I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Like, again, because I can't explain it, because I can't explain this situation, it means that Tatsu's going to have to try to come up with some kind of solution to that. Or he's going to make it so that Momo can see her and something changed. I don't know. But anyway, everybody disappears and she thinks back to last time when she was with Okurun and she was attacked as well. Look, Ma, no hands. Crazy. Crazy shit. Yeah, see, that's what I kind of was under the suspicion of as well, Toaster, is that there's some degree of spiritual awareness happening here. I feel like this fight is going to be a big one. Like, generally speaking, even if it doesn't go on for super long, I don't know that it will go on for, like, as long as the Space Globalist fight went on. I don't think it will. But I do think that there's going to be a lot happening as a consequence of this. It's going to lead to a lot of emotional kind of like revelations. Surely it has to. Yeah, I mean, like surely it has to be. It has to. I feel like to justify all of what we've seen, for all of what we've seen, I feel like we need to get something, emotionally speaking, we need to get something big out of this. You know? The fact that Momo and JIJI have been basically split here, to me, means that she's going to have to go and either find Peeny Weeny and not remember him at all, or she's going to run into Okurun and Ida. Momo and Okurun, it has to be like a thing. Momo and Okurun are so fucking far apart at this point, emotionally, they're so far apart from each other, that needs repairing, right? I don't know, man. Like, part of me is of the mind as well that Ida, my desire here for Ida as a character, my desire my desire for Ida as a character is that everybody keeps fucking saying, like, she needs to be turned down, she needs to be turned down, she needs to be told basically to fuck off. I kind of would prefer for her to just let it go, to get it, to see it and get it, and to let it go. Do you know what I mean? I feel like that would be the greatest kind of character growth for her character. Just generally, the greatest growth for her character would be for her to see that she isn't really in the cards, she isn't really in the picture. Okurun doesn't feel... Like, obviously, she puts her feelings very much front and center and first. She always has. She's always been of the mind that she's got to push and push, and eventually he'll like her. Because that's what she's always done, right? That's Ida as a character, right? Ira is this character that... This person who, even if she isn't the best at something... Think about with Koki. She didn't beat Koki initially, but she was outperformed by Koki, so she got better. You know? She got better and better until she was the winner. So that's the philosophy that Ida takes for life. If she isn't the best, she'll become the best. You know? Love isn't really that. You can't really do that with these kind of feelings. For me, for her as a character, the best thing that she can do is realize that her feelings, if she feels how she feels for Okurun truly and honestly, then she would also be willing to let him go. To let him go and pursue the person that he is interested in. And that would be the most mature response for me. And it sidesteps that requirement for everybody to kind of be like, oh, time for an intervention for Ida, you know? Because I don't know that an intervention for the character is really going to play out that well. You know? I just... Maybe. I don't know. Okurun's honesty, I don't know that it's necessarily at Ida in this situation. I feel like it's got to be, or rather at the expense of Ida, I feel like it's got to be towards Momo. I prefer positive affirmation of his relationship with Momo versus the idea of him having this conversation with her. Yeah, the flat-out rejection, I feel like, is a bit nuanced. This is a nuanced thing. I don't know. It could be. Look, it could be. I mean, he did it to Vamola. He did it to Vamola, but that wasn't love, and that wasn't anything nearly as grown up as Ida's feelings for Okurun. I don't know. I'm curious, but I don't know. This is my personal preference. I think that for Ida's character, rather than Okurun's character, the best thing she can do is see how he feels. If he's honest with Momo, if Okurun is honest with Momo, and Ida sees that, her accepting that, and letting it go, letting him go, rather than just trying to be better than Momo, I think that's the best possible thing. I think that's the best end game, because it shows that her feelings aren't necessarily reciprocal. Her feelings are more about him and how he feels. You know? Yeah, no, this is my ideal outcome, Toaster, is that Okurun's honesty is towards Momo, not towards Ida, right? Like just generally speaking. I just don't necessarily see him being honest with Ida to be, because he hasn't been necessarily lying to Ida, and you could say that he's been leading her on by not having the conversation with her. You could say that, but I don't know. I mean, that's a more subtle kind of lying, I feel, right? Like a lie of omission. It is still a lie, obviously, but it's not in the exact same vein as just outwardly refuting reality, which is what he did when he said that he was joking about asking Momo out. Like he has to be daring, but in the right ways, right? Like he has to be daring, but in the ways that that he as a character, as a man, kind of was with Momo, and that was daring to grow and to be vulnerable, and to not be this guy who would force her down a specific pathway. I don't know. 14 months. Jenny, welcome. Welcome. Thank you for 14 months. You're officially in Vamola territory now. Well done. Well done. That's crazy, by the way. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad that you're out of your Hollow Knight, I don't know what you'd call it, existence, right? Yeah. I think that the Pinocchio thing is just it's a double kind of thing, right? Like it's got a kind of double meaning to it, as far as us the reader are aware. You know, as the reader, we're aware of its double meaning. But it is interesting. I mean, one must wonder. But ultimately, again, and it depends how much we decide to stick to the rigidity of these fairy tales, which I don't presume that Tatsu is necessarily. I didn't realize well, I don't necessarily think that Tatsu is going to stick to the rigidity of the stories. Pinocchio did become a real boy through self-sacrifice, which is part of why I think maybe he's going to kind of, you know, be honest by sacrificing for Momo. Maybe, you know, that would kind of align with a theory that I had a long time ago. It would be nice to have that validated, please, Tatsu. It would be very nice to have that validated. I'd appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, we'll see, right? But we're in the territory now. This is make or break territory. This is make or break territory that we're in now. No, I'm not, no, I can't tell Tatsu about June 8th. All right. Although that would be a really good day for a hiatus. That would be a really good day for a hiatus, Tatsu, if you're watching. It's crazy to me, actually, like how things can work out, because you know the chaotic beauty of Momo and Okarun's love video. That video, the original script, no, it wasn't Chaotic Beauty, was it? Was it Chaotic Beauty? It might have been. It might have been. Yes, no, maybe. It's either the Chaotic Beauty video or the Okarun video. I think it's the Chaotic Beauty video. I had a whole extra section at the end there, but it felt like a really weak place to end it, so I removed it. And it was talking about the future of the series and where it's going. And there was a whole segment in there talking about well, a whole segment talking about the future of where the series is going and Momo and Okarun's relationship's going. And I had like a sentence or two in there talking about how mortified and horrified I would be if one of them had, there's a whole couple sentences in there that express that I would have been mortified and horrified if they did a memory loss, if one of them forgot who the other one was. I think it was Okarun that I specified as the character that I'd be mortified if he lost his memories. Fucked up. Shouldn't have mentioned it. Shouldn't have wrote those words. And maybe it was Okarun. Yes. If I didn't write those words, we'd probably be safe right now. So I apologize. I predicted Okarun. Yes, quite right. An almost prediction. Yes. I'm still pretty mortified by it. Nostradamus. No, don't say that. I'll make a tag for it, eh? You know? Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, Toaster. I mean, I kept that one in the logs. In you know, I kept that in the drafts. So the fact that he saw it, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. So if we could June 8th hiatus, what do you think? Because if the big thing happens, right, guys, I understand that you guys want it to happen ASAP, right? If a big thing happens and I'm away, what are you going to do? If a big thing happens and I'm not around for it, are you not going to also be mortified by it? Huh? Feeling almost real confident. That's funny. Oh, I would have... No, yeah. I would have to be a phone stream. No. This is why you've been studying VTubers, isn't it? Isn't it? You have the Discord. You do have the Discord. That's true. That is true. What am I? Chopped liver? Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Fucking unbelievable. Immediately trying to get rid of me. It was like, yeah, let's get somebody else here. You're stuck with me. You're stuck with me. Tell you what. Shut the Discord. Yeah, I'll shut down the Discord out of pure spite. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No, I'm away. I've got a business trip. I've got a business trip for my day job. So, yeah. There you go. Welcome to the Discord. It's a great place. It's the best place on the internet for Dandadan. Also, I'm told. Anyway. We are on page, 4, according to Manga Plus. It's just Momo looking at the dinosaurs being born. It's fucking cursed, to be fair. They're like, this is rotten. Like, look at them. They're disgusting. What are they coming out of? These little guys. It's these little fucking things are just growing in size. That's crazy. The art of this is actually really good. But Tatsu never misses with the art, let's be real. He never misses. Look at it. This guy, he never misses. Yeah, she just leaves JIJI to it. She also looks like disproportionately large here, despite the fact that she isn't, because these are all growing. You know? Yeah, the flesh anime around scale. That's crazy. That's cray-cray. That's cray-cray. You know? Yeah, like the whale's death. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean, look, the best thing that she could have done is just leg it. You know? I mean, like, I suppose she's also of the mind that she could go and get other people to come and help her, right? To be fair, if there was like 100 dinosaurs around you, you'd fucking run. I'm sorry, you'd run. Because there's nothing you can do at that point. It's like, if he's dead, he's dead. I'm sorry. Right? You know what I mean? Like, sorry, bro. It's Jova. It's Jova for my boy JIJI. It's G-Jova. For Okura, like she did in the Nessie arc. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what's happening here. She's gonna do climb up and get him out. I know. She just ran. Exactly. That's how you know it's bad. She didn't even bother to fucking... She didn't even bother to insult them. She didn't call them a tuna or anything. She just ran. The evil eye is gonna have fun with those dinosaurs. You know what? That's spot on, actually. He's gonna fucking love it. The evil eye is gonna love it. He's a kid. Kids love dinosaurs. So do adults, but kids love dinosaurs. You know? It's GG over. It's wild and all of it. Thank you. I'm glad that you love it. You can have that. You can use that. You know? But yeah. Anyway. I don't know what the fuck is happening with half of this shit. It's nasty, dude. It's nasty. This seal guy is nasty as fuck, by the way. If I saw a friend being eaten by a dinosaur, I'd run too. You know what? Just make sure I don't get eaten by a fucking dinosaur when Janny's around. You know? She'd just be like, anyway, see you later. Then the joy emote. I know, it's gonna be great. I can't wait. Aura farming while GG's getting eaten by a dino. Where's the cold water at? That's what I'm saying. Anyway, this guy. This fucking geezer. This is horrible. You see this here? It's fucking rancid, dude. That is rancid. I'm sorry. I just hate that. It must be excruciating. It must be absolutely fucking excruciating. You know? And also, you see this piece of art down here? Let me just move my... Whoa! You see this piece of art down here with... It, like, I know that Okurun's going through his bag. Okurun is going through his bag to get his the ogre club out of it, but it looks like she just threw her bag at him, right? It looks like she's just like, yo, hold my bag, I'm gonna sort this out. That's what it looks like. It looks like she threw him her bag. You know? Yeah, this would have been a good thumbnail. This would have been a good thumbnail. You're right, Toaster. That would have actually been dope. Oh, my bag, babe. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I felt like I needed to put dinosaurs on the thumbnail. I felt like it was too important. You know? It felt like it was of crucial importance, actually. Am I not all the way over? There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Mog them, queen. That's crazy that you said that in my chat. That's crazy you just said that in my chat. Yeah, a water flea licks... A water flea in a thong... A water flea in a thong licks the floor to make it slippery. I don't know what to tell you. This is a very strange kind of thing. This series is completely unserious, let's be real. Right? Like, it is dreadfully unserious. No, you're absolutely not getting a rookie cookie for such things. You don't deserve it. Fog them instead of mog them. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not the Mog Lord Supreme, you know? Well, we keep getting surprised. No, I know what you mean. Like, we obviously shouldn't be surprised at anything Dandadan related at this point because it's so fucking absurd as a series. But also, it's hard not to be. It's you know what I mean? It's like hard not to be surprised constantly as well. I suppose that's a good point, Homer. Yeah, no, he's right. He's right. There is strategy in it. There is strategy in it. And he's also a seal. Yeah. Since August. Yeah, I mean, Jesus. It's been a while, actually, now, hasn't it? It's been like a year and a half. It's been like a year and a half since I started reading Dandadan. And, yeah, I'm surprised constantly. You know? Tokyo drifting. Oh my god, no. That would be sick if we got some Tokyo drift. Yeah. Yeah, I mean... I'm curious. Look, this whole situation is bizarre. But hey, it is what it is. He stood in the mouth of a seal, it appears, and Okurun is going through his bag looking for the ogre club, and it is tiny, by the way. Just so that we're clear, it is fucking. I can't even see it. I can't even see it. It's so small. Absurd. It's like it basically is like a lightsaber. I do wonder as well whether or not somebody else is going to use it in this fight as well. Right? Because we obviously highlighted in an earlier chapter. It was highlighted in an earlier chapter. You can't say that. No, I didn't mean. I meant the club. I meant the club. I meant the club. All right. Can't say that's crazy. The Well, I forgot where I was at now. Yeah, no. So we obviously spoke about it earlier in the arc, just before the date, that different people using the club could create a different effect, right? So I am curious to see whether or not it gets passed to somebody else and what the effect would be. I mean, they wouldn't have brought that up if it wasn't going to be relevant later, right? The nose of Pinocchio. Huh. Huh. To attach it to unlock the powers. That is deranged. That is fucking deranged. I'm going to be straight up with you. That is fucking deranged. Although, I would say, at least aesthetically speaking, the club kind of extending like a lightsaber would also seemingly, you know, at least aesthetically correlate with his Pinocchio status, right? Like that kind of, I feel like that is maybe an intentional element, right? Like at least aesthetically for that to be connected. Yeah, that is what 4 weeks hiatus does to a community. That is crazy. That's one of the craziest things I've ever heard. The idea that you'd attach it to his nose to unlock. That's crazy. That's fucking absurd. That is honestly one of the. I don't even know what to say to that. That guy is caked the fuck up. By the way, I don't know what the fuck. You know what I mean? Why is he wearing a thong? He isn't even the first guy, is he, who's been wearing a thong? Wasn't there someone else? Wasn't there that guy, the water guy? Wasn't he also wearing a thong? Right? Am I crazy for that? Was he? Or something? What is going on, Tatsu, bro? What's going on, dude? Did he just find it very funny? Does he just find it very funny when people wear, like, when men wear thongs? Right? Yeah, he must like it. He must enjoy doing this. Yeah, the Kappa fucking ate shit and he deserved it. The fashion. No, she's right. She's right. I mean, you know what I mean? It's a daring thongs of the uniform. That's crazy that's the first thing you said here, Medley. That's a crazy first thing to say. Thongs of the uniform. It's right. He's right. He's right. It's like, yeah, no, I don't know why, but Nuglover, he told us that we had to wear these. I don't know. Maybe you have to wear something absurd around that region, you know, in the same way that Jack the Ripper, he had a pumpkin there, right? I don't know. It is aerodynamic. You know what? You're right. You're right. At least he has more of a reason. He has more of a reason, I guess, for wearing it. It's still fucking absurd. It's still fucking absurd. CSG's is fucking with them. Assuming that these guys are in any way, shape, or form related to CSG. I mean, I feel like he highlighted earlier that these guys are actually at odds. Right? I'm going to be honest. As far as the actual plot is confused, is concerned, I'm confused. I'm confused. I don't really know what's going on. I think we're going to learn more. But, I mean, I don't know. Maybe somebody's gonna come and save them. Maybe, I don't know. I really don't. You know? I'm curious about what the hell's going on. But I just want to see more, to be honest. I just want to see more. I just want to see how the characters interact with this situation. I'm very excited for next week's chapter. You know what's really good, by the way, is there's not really that much to talk about with this chapter, I feel. Really. But what I do like, what I do enjoy quite a lot about Dandadan is that every single week I'm really excited to see more of it. I think that's why the hiatus always hits us so hard, is because it's really nice to have that thing to look forward to every week. And you know, even here with whatever the fuck this thing is, this creature in its speedo is concerned, even with something like that, it's like, it's weird, but it's really enjoyable. And I feel like I want to see what's going on next week. Can we get to next week already? You know, imagine being excited for a fucking Monday, by the way. Also, does he have blood around his legs and stuff? Because that looks like really painful for the seal. You know? Is that what that is? I don't know. Yeah, it looks really painful. Yeah, I would like him to be part, like the seal to be part of him. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. I would like the seal to be part of him, because then it's not as bad. But if that is like just a random seal, if that's just a random seal, he drew a really bad lottery. You know, there's a difference between a Speedo and a thong, Rook. Alright, my mistake. No, he's right. He's right. It's very important to know the difference between a thong, a two-piece thong set, and a mankini. He's right. He's the guy to go to. Orbis is the guy to go to if you have any questions about this. Just drop him a message. Just drop him a message, guys. You know? Very simple stuff. You know? And if you want to do that, guys, you know where you can do it. And you can do it on the Discord, on the Safety Zone Rookie Discord. The best place on the internet for Dandadan. Patreon link in the description. Join as a free member to get access to the Discord. It's the best place on the internet for Dandadan. And it's proving itself to be the case every single week. Genuinely, it really is. Like a lot of... We've had a lot of what I like to call refugees recently from Reddit and other places, because so many people have been quite disenchanted with the negativity surrounding Dandadan at the moment. Which is crazy, by the way. That is crazy, for me anyway, because I feel like this is a fucking strong arc. I don't know what the fuck other people are reading. Like I understand people are a little impatient because we're not getting to the finality of Momo and Okarun's progress together. Or they feel like they've been set back or something. I just don't get it, you know? I've been enjoying the fuck out of this shit. The last arc, I admit it, right? I admit it, last arc, unless there's something that retroactively justifies it, week to week on that felt like a little bit of a slog. I think that if you go back and read it from the beginning, without it being a week to week thing, it won't feel as bad. But, and maybe we'll do that. Maybe we should do that on the next hiatus, is we should just redo that arc together, chapter by chapter by chapter, and see what happens, right? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. My point is that there are a lot of people who are upset right now, and while I understand the impatience of it, just enjoy it. I've been enjoying the shit out of this. I think this is great. This is one of the strongest kind of arcs for me. I don't know. I enjoy all this interpersonal stuff. I enjoy the angst of it. When the next hiatus is in 2 years. Yeah, not June the 8th. That wouldn't be on June the 8th. But anyway. So it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure to see so many people joining the Discord recently. To see that we've got a pretty consistent between 30 and 40 people here. Just watching the stream, enjoying the chat. Because for me, that's the point of this. There's no point reading something if you're just going to be pissy about it every week. You know what I mean? And also, it's great to kind of like feed into that community feel over on the Discord. It feels really good to have that kind of community, that kind of backlog of people that you can talk to without being judged. Like, on Reddit, the problem is that if you say something that does not go with the mass preference, people will just slam dunk you for that, or you'll never be seen. Your message will never be seen. Oh, you know what, Medley? You're right to be pissy because we haven't seen Kinta's hair. That's actually a really good point. No, you're right. You're right. Also, you know, if you're interested, you can also try that isn't working. Why is that not working? You can also go to safetyzonerookie.com. If you're interested in Safety Zone Rookie, you go to safetyzonerookie.com. We've got a variety of different merchandise on safetyzonerookie.com. I haven't done a plug in a while. It's been ages since I've done a plug, but here it is. You can check out stuff on safetyzonerookie.com. We've got a variety of different outfits, different kinds of merchandise. It's great. It's a great present for you, or probably not your family because they don't know who I am. But for you, you probably would enjoy it. This is a great one, made by the community for the community. We got stuff there. I didn't even take down the Christmas selection. I just left it there because I forgot. I forgot to take it down. You got mugs. Look. See? Safety Zone Rookie. Oh, they made a noise. See that? Pretty neat, huh? all kinds of stuff there. Maybe you're interested. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're interested. Maybe you're not. You don't want to miss next Christmas, though. You don't want to miss next Christmas. Let me tell you. I don't know where the actual merchandise is currently because I moved the office around quite a lot. But I'll tell you what. The quality is good. The quality is better than you would expect that it is. You know? I was shocked at how good the quality is, actually. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. But anyway, just a quick plug. Just a quick plug. Yeah, no, that's it. This is why I got the bone. This is why I got the bone color instead. Because the white, I know that I would ruin the white. You know? But whilst we've not finished the chapter yet, guys. We're going to get back into the chapter any second now. But whilst we're plugging that, I might as well plug some important people. As you can see, there are people who've been supporting the channel for a long time now. 14 months is nothing to sneeze at, guys. Nothing to sneeze at. Any penny that's spent on merchandise, any penny that's donated, or that is spent in memberships, genuinely is more than what I could ever ask for. I don't know how to express properly how, even though it's been going on for a while now, I don't know how to express properly that the fact that there are people who are supporting the channel, especially in the climate that we're currently in, cost-wise, because they want to see more stuff, is crazy. You can't imagine you can't imagine being in this situation. I never imagined that I'd be in a situation where people would want to support the channel in that way, right? But it is something I'm very grateful for. Any penny spent, even people who watch for free, that is more than I could ever ask or expect of anybody. So thank you. But there are some people who have been and are supporting the channel on the highest tier, on the Yokai Power user tier, and it's wild to me. That's wild to me. So I just want to make sure that I take the time to call out these people so that they can be forever enshrined in this piece of content, because they deserve it, because they're the reason that we can do any of this stuff here. All right, they keep the lights on. That bright light that's constantly shining in my face, that's them. They're doing that. It's a reminder to me to keep going. So that's Tim Kai. That's Jelly Pickle Pelly. I think that was Pickle. Zero, your favorite scented candle. Sarah, Quentin Tarantado, Pelly Pickle Jelly. They're doing a thing. They're doing a thing. Orbis, Old Toaster, Mother Support on Summer Break, Fifth Gram, Danny Dan, Blissy Cat, Angle, and 720. Thank you. Thank you, guys. 15 months. Orbis, that's fucking wild. 15 months. That is actually crazy. 15 months is crazy, though. Thank you for 15 months. You're going to be at this rate, you're going to be the first person who passes over to who comes next. To the next character. Which is Ida? Is it? Maybe I'm crazy. I know, exactly. I mentioned him multiple times. Oh, I see. Yeah, okay, fair. Anyway, back to the chapter. Back to the chapter. Oh, 5 memberships. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my god. Thank you, Blissy. Thank you, donos. Look at you guys, you lucky people. Toaster, you lucky little guy. You lucky guy. Eric, you lucky guy. That's crazy. Thank you. It's crazy. I can't believe it. Absolutely absurd. Oh no. No, you gave access to, you gave Toaster access to the hidden log. No, there it is. There it is. You gave him access to the backlog of emojis. Oh dear, oh dear. I need to refresh some of those emojis, if I'm honest with you. I need to cycle some back out and replace them with other things. Same with the Twitch channel as well. I need to do the same thing. That's twitch.tv/SafetyZoneRookie. If you guys are interested, we stream on a Friday, except not last Friday. Yeah, cool. You should check it out. You should check that out. Anyway. So we're looking at the Seal Man. Pretty rancid. Ida tries to protect Okurun, obviously. He doesn't have any powers, supposedly. And she expresses how annoying it is for this to happen at such a monumental moment. I mean, yeah, it's kind of fortunate for us. It's pretty fortunate for us that this happened right now, because otherwise she would have, you know. But then the guy, some masked man, comes from behind, and he says, he tries to be respectful no matter the situation. I mean, we are Vlad's guard, the Dragon Knights, and we're here to take your powers. So, I don't know what the hell. I'm gonna be honest. I don't have a fucking clue. At this point, what's going on? I don't know what's happening. Who these guys are? I was under the impression that these were not on his side. Monumentally lucky for her. That's true. But apparently they are. They're on Vlad's side. I don't know what the hell. I don't know what the hell. You know? You want to see the leader slaying. No. No. Yeah. Well, no. The difference is I feel like this guy kind of holds his aura in a way that Nuglover doesn't. You know what I mean? You know, I feel like he holds. Okay, no, I feel bad now, Pickle. Fine. Maybe I'll think about it. I'll think about it. I'll see if you deserved it. I already said your name twice, and you tried to trick me by getting a confusing name. Yeah, no, this is what I'm saying. I feel like this character is carrying that sass better. You know, this character is carrying that sass better than Nuglover ever did. So I can't hate him. I can't hate him unless they do something, because Nuglover was always just a lying shithead about it. Oh, he's the worst guy. It was the worst guy. He was the worst guy around. What murders? Oh man, he sucked. He sucked. I'm so honestly, you know the humiliation ritual. You remember the Nuglover humiliation ritual? Oh, that was a good chapter. That was a really good chapter. Oh my god. Oh, you know, so, it fills my heart with joy, dude. Just thinking about it is great. Remember when he shot himself? They just dragged him through the fucking dirt, man. They dragged him through the dirt. Oh my god. Oh, I hate him so much. They made him shit himself. That's so funny. I feel like Tatsu, he's on the same page as us. He also hated his ass. You know? He knows he's a minion. Yeah, no, Nuglover, he shot himself, Ian. Nuglover, he shot himself when the big toilet showed up. He shat his pants. Yeah. Yeah. And then he turned into smoke as well, and it, like, combined with him. It was disgusting. Yeah. Very entertaining. Very entertaining. And then they just bullied him and took his powers. You know? I hope that he's still working for him. That'd be so funny, though. Unless he was the yokai, right? In which case he's part of Vlad. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's very funny. It's very funny. in the gutter with no powers. That's crazy. Like that episode of Futurama where Zach Brannigan's fired from the dupe. Just the washed up hobo who's hit rock bottom and his commanding officer. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's a curious thing. But apparently he's on Vlad's team, so I believe him. But in that case, I do wonder to what extent CSG seems to think that Okurun has powers. Like when he Him and Mai bitching inside of Vlad. No, because I feel like Mai would just make fun of him. I feel like she'd just be practicing singing next to him all the time, and he'd hate it because it's not classical music. You know what I mean? He probably hates idol music. You know? Releasing his vowels. Releasing his bowels, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, they're obviously like they, as they say, they're after Okarun's powers, right? And this is where the chapter is generally at its most interesting. Yeah, I know. This is it. I was taking a second. I got lost in hating on Nuglover there for a second. Where were we? Where were we? You know. Anyway, so these are the masterminds who've been targeting them. That's what Ida says. And he says that the other knights are ruffians. Although I imagine he pronounces it with a rolling R. Ruffians. I am not. I feel like you see this guy. No, but you see this guy, right? Now this is important. I know that no, he pretends he hates idol music. No, you're right. That is. Look, let's just quick deep dive on the differences that we're seeing here, right? You see the way that Nuglover was, and I don't know, maybe this guy will show himself to be to be a piece of shit as well, right? But when Nuglover first showed up, he was all like, "Oh, I've never been beaten in my life," right? I've never been beaten, and he was just stood there and he was like pretending to bow before he'd then fucking cheat and things like that, right? Like, it was all fake. It was just all fake. It was a projected persona. The guy was not actually cool, right? He just wanted desperately to be cool by being the least cool guy ever. You know, he's like, "Oh, I'm named after cigarettes. I'm crazy." And it's like, bro, you're not cool. I'm sorry, but it's not cool. It isn't cool. It's just not. You look like a loser. And then he started bullying people. Whereas this guy, he doesn't make big promises like that. All he says is that he's got a bit of class. And I respect that, because look at how he stood. He kind of has a bit of class to him. Or whoever it is. You know? And it's like, saying how amusing is a little bit kind of like full of yourself. But it's not like making grand promises that you can't live up to. You know? So I'm kind of hoping that this person kind of has a bit more going than Nuglover. Also, Okrun slouches real bad. Look at this. Look at him. Bro, you need to work on your posture. You don't have Turbo Granny powers anymore, dude. That is going to really come back to bite you on the ass. Or the lower back. I'm just saying, like put your shoulders back a little bit or something. He's not looking too good. You know? The Ogre Club is heavy. Yeah, well, he's in battle pose. I mean, he just walks like that. Don't pretend that he doesn't walk like that. He does. He does. Yeah, it knocks a whole foot off of his height. He's like all the time like this. You know? Yeah, well, this is what we're going to find out, Sky. Does this group actually have what it takes, right? I don't know. He's always ready for battle. Stop defending such posture. No. Yeah. First basketball, now hockey. I don't know. That's a good question. She's very competitive, though, so maybe it's related to that. But anyway, he says that if they submit and accept the defeat, that they'll be spared. And Ida, basically, as you would expect, says that she can take them on herself, and he essentially laughs in her face. But they say that they're not interested in the powers of Acrobatic Silky. They want the powers of Turbo Granny. And now this is what's making everybody all astir about the situation right now. And they say that he's a liar. Right? They say that he's a liar. when he tells them that he doesn't have the powers anymore. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what the fuck. Now, it's possible. It's possible that when CSG tried to get Okurun to submit, he could then tell that he doesn't have the powers of Turbo Granny anymore. No, that he does have the powers of Turbo Granny still. But I wonder why you would have done any of that in the first place. Either that, or CSG is surprised insofar as, like, maybe he is of the mind that he has found some way to hide his powers. I don't know. Posture watch. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. I'm curious. I don't know. Hi, Kepler. How you doing, dude? What's good? What's good? Glad that you got your channel back and everything, brother. Well, this is it. Yeah, no, I don't know. Does Okurun still have his powers is the great question. I mean, look. One thing that we keep saying, that we keep seeing, is that Turbo Granny gives more of a shit than she lets on, right? She actually does care. And I do feel like she wouldn't just leave him without any kind of defenses, especially if people are coming for them. And she seems to be, like, clued into what's going on around here, right? Like, she knows that the Hyper Geezer is there because she saw it at the end of the Space Globalist arc, that this was a thing that was coming. So I don't feel like she would have left him completely defenseless. I don't know. But if that's the question, then one must wonder, what exactly is holding him back from using them? You know? It would be an interesting kind of prospect if that is the case, that he also has untapped potential and untapped abilities. I don't know. Like, untapped abilities, because that would also kind of create... It would beg that same question for Momo, right? Like, that means they'd both be in a very similar situation. You know? Yeah, no, Kepler, so basically the general kind of gist is that there is a good, loud, what I presume to be a loud minority of the community are upset, upset about the current trajectory of the manga. I think that it's massively overblown. I think it's actually sublime. I'm very happy with, like, I'm not, like, generally speaking, without spoiling too much for you. I think it's fantastic. I have no reason to think that there's anything wrong with anything that's happening. You know what it is? I think the problem is that, for me anyway, a lot of people don't seem to believe in the vision of what's occurring, of the character dynamics, right? All of this, everything that's happening right now in the manga is absolutely in service to Momo and Okurun as characters and the dynamic between the two of them. This is endgame relationship stuff, right? This is endgame Momo and Okurun just at the early relation, like you know what I mean, before they get together kind of thing. Basically, with all the stuff that we saw in Season 1 and Season 2 of Dandadan, which you obviously are familiar with, happened a very long time ago, like as far as we're concerned. And what we're doing, I think, is we're revisiting a lot of that in a thematic sense before we get to that final hurdle of Momo and Okurun getting together. There's a lot of angst involved. There's a lot, but people treat it kind of like backpedaling. I don't consider it backpedaling. I don't think of it as backpedaling because that presumes that we're just starting from the beginning again, and we aren't, right? I don't see how people, because we're dealing with with Okurun and Aira. We're dealing with Momo and Okurun's relationship, but the foundations of it and reevaluating it taking the opportunity to see it again and make that decision, to make that judgment call and decide whether or not it was meant to be. I don't see anything wrong with it. I think that if you don't like it, if people don't like it, that's fine. I don't care if people don't like it. But also, you gotta, you know what I mean? You gotta do it in good faith, I think. And I think that, not before the story wraps up, I think that this is like the final hurdle before Momo and Okurun get together as a kind of official couple, right? I think that this is preceding the kiss kind of stuff for me, like proper relationship territory. You know, I don't feel like the series is going to come to a close anytime soon. Like maybe we're at the halfway point, but I don't know. I'm very happy with all of it, if I'm honest with you. The people who are constantly whining about it, I think just need to take a break. I don't know. I'm very invested in all of this. I'm more invested in this than I was the previous arc by quite a margin. So, yeah. I don't know, dude. If I were you, if you're gonna read it, I'd probably wait just a few more weeks before you jump into it. If you're gonna stay anime only, then yeah, I mean, you don't need to be concerned for many, many years. But for me, yeah, I'm quite happy with where it is. I think people are exaggerating it because they can't cope with the current dynamics and the current conundrums. Despite the fact that I think that we're revisiting these things because we are so close to the end of the road with it. I feel like this is an important step towards it, you know. In 2035, that's crazy, dude. That'd be amazing. Yeah. Animated would have worked as well. Animated works as well. I can't wait for this to get animated. Animated animation. Anyway, right, let's continue the chapter, guys. Let's continue the chapter. So, yes, they're after the powers of Turbo Granny, right? I mean, this is the curiosity. I feel like there is a quality hopium dealer. I love that. Yes, I'm your hopium dealer. That's great. Yeah, this is it. This is it. Yeah, I think that it's the latter. I personally think it's the latter, Kepler. If you ask me, I think it's the latter. I'm of the mind that there are things. I think most people get it. I think most people get it. I think most people get it. It's just what you see on Reddit, what you see on Twitter, is just people with this negativity that just is easy to share, right? Like, here's a good example. A good example, Kepler, for me, is if you think about Momo and Okurun and Aira and Okurun, right? Now, for a lot of people, they'll just scream love triangle about this, but I don't see it as just this love triangle thing insofar as it is a who's he gonna pick thing, right? Or that what they're just there, that they're just there to kind of to create friction between the characters. I don't believe that. In Dandadan, when I see Okurun's situation, right? When I see Okurun as a character, and there's Aira and there's Momo on either side of him, it's not just to create drama. It's not just to create friction between the characters. It says something about Okurun as a character, right? It asks him a question as a character at his most fundamental level. There are parts of him that reverberate with Momo, that he can see reflected in Momo. Overcoming who he was, embracing certain elements of himself that most people have rejected, someone who sees him as more than just a nerd, someone who he got stronger for, he fought for, he became who he is now for, right? That is what he sees in her. It's this potential to be more, to be better. The problem with that is that, yes, it means he can grow, and yes, he has to do that through conflict, but it also is this, it's like constantly light at the end of the tunnel, but the tunnel just gets longer and longer and longer. And whilst that for him, at least as far as we're concerned, has been and is true love, there is another path here, which is Ida. Ida is not so closed off. She's not so complicated in the way that she expresses her feelings to Okurun. She also is a character that represents a part of Okurun, right? Which is a desire for reciprocation, a desire for his feelings to be not just constantly at the end of the tunnel, yes, tunnel, not just at the end of the tunnel, but feelings that are here, now, that he's getting back rather than just putting in. It's just easier as well. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to not constantly think about tomorrow, you know? For him, in Ida, there is that potential for not wishing about it, not hoping that it will happen. It will just, like that, he could have it and it will just be, and he'd be happy. This whole arc has shown through Ida that they are very compatible. These two characters are very compatible with each other. It's not just one way. Like, it could easily be something really good for him as a character. And that's Okurun's choice in this situation. Do you, and Momo's situation currently, the current circumstances with Momo regarding like the amnesia and everything, is if you are back at square one, are you going to try again? Knowing how hard it was the first time, how difficult it was to get where you were, knowing that this thing seems to be cursed by someone, would you try and do it again? Would you do the same thing again? Was it worth it enough for you to do it all again? Right? Especially if it's doomed. Even if it's doomed, is it still worth it? Right? That's his question. That's the question that he has to answer. And what he picks, what Okurun picks, says everything about his character. It says everything about the kind of guy that he is. And I know what he'll pick, and you know what he'll pick. Because that's the kind of guy he is, man. He's like, he's a hopeful character. He's a fucking, he grows, he pushes, he runs, and he chases. He's all of these things. You know? And that to me is so engaging. That's so engaging. It's like, it drags me into it. And the fact that there are people who then just kind of go, oh, well, Aida's A, B, and C, when she actually genuinely feels how she feels, it's like, shut the fuck up. You either can empathize with the characters, or you cannot. The end, man. You know? Yeah, no, this is it. No, this is the thing, though, Kepler. Like, Dandadan does not just give you, it doesn't just give you affirmation all the time. And I can understand why it's frustrating that you've got to wait for a bit. But Okurun is also struggling. He's struggling more than any of us are as a character, right? So we're there. You've got to feel that frustration. If you don't feel that frustration, you feel this frustration with Momo's situation, right? And as that right there puts us into the mindset of Okurun and his struggle. If you are in that mindset and then you see this really sweet moment with Ida, you're almost tempted to want to believe in it. I have seen tons of people online talking about how they're on board with Ida Okurun, right? That's because it's tempting. If you don't see it as tempting, if you can't see Okurun's opportunity in that, then you can't really align with the struggle. If you just feel frustration at the situation with Momo, you're also kind of in the same boat as Okurun as well. He is frustrated. Obviously he's frustrated. Why wouldn't he be? he would be more frustrated than you are. I just find that these feelings are being designed. These feelings are being designed by good writing, not bad. Not bad writing. Good writing is what puts you in this mindset that you can feel so connected to what's happening. I'm fine. I'm fine. I just needed to get that out. All right. I really love this series. Right. It's a very important series to me. I feel genuinely like it just hits and it delivers. Right. I don't see why we should, because things aren't going exactly how we wanted to go, like how some people want it to go. Like, I don't see why that means we should throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? The last arc, admittedly, I was not in love with a lot of it, right? I'm not really in love with a lot of the last arc, but like, whatever. It was still entertaining. Not every arc is going to change your life, right? And it wasn't that long, really. Like, really, when you go back and read it all in one go. The internet is crazy nowadays. This is the problem though. Like, I find that negativity just sells much better in algorithmically driven social media platforms. Just thrive on negativity too much, because the algorithm engagement with content that is negative is just so high, and then it just keeps getting pushed. Like, this is why on the Discord, Patreon link in the description, join as a free member on my Patreon. Do get access to the Discord. It's the best place on the internet for Dandadan and other stuff. It's much less crazy over there because there is no algorithm. It's just human curation, you know, like curation by actual moderators, dealt with by actual moderators, just people engaging with each other in an honest way. And people are more fucking normal. They're not crazy. On Reddit, the only way you get to the top of the front page of whatever is by being crazy positive or crazy negative or just plain crazy, you know. Exactly. And because of that, we're doing really well over there. We do well here as well each week, but Reddit is becoming a bit of a nightmare, I find. I am not a secret Red Baron liker. How dare you? How dare you? I despise the Red Baron, alright? With everything. Yeah, exactly. Amleb, I agree with that. I agree with that. I just don't... You know, the Reddit during the anime, the Reddit was actually pretty good. I really enjoyed the Dandadan Reddit subreddit when the anime was airing. It felt like there were lots of people there who really were just like enjoying the episodes. I thought it was great. I don't know, something about like the more niche element of the manga, I think just makes people more fucking crazed. You know? Yeah, this is it. Yeah. I think that a lot of people, if they were reading Danmara, would have had a breakdown, you know? Would have had a breakdown. Because I do think that the pacing here is pretty fucking good, actually. Like, generally speaking, almost every single week... Now, I understand that there have been hiatus. I understand there have been a bunch of hiatuses, but... And that is partially what's making it feel bogged down. But almost every single week, we've had something to fucking chew on like crazy. You know? And you can see that based on just the amount of discussion in the Discord. Like, the amount of discourse in the Discord is creating... It's making... you can tell that the community is more engaged than ever because it's interesting. We're in a really interesting time with the series. It's just people can't see that because they're just too fucking negative. You know? If I felt that negative about it, I'd just stop fucking reading it. You know? Yeah, this is it. Yeah, Bagley, exactly. Also, for the record, the occasional hiatus isn't bad because I know that when there's a hiatus, that's an extra week. Because eventually we'll get to, and I'm sorry to say this, guys, we will get to the last chapter of Dandadan one day, right? Every time there's a hiatus, we're pushing that away by 1 week. Every single week we have a hiatus, we've pushed back the final chapter by a week. So you're welcome if anything. So think about that. You just need a new perspective on life. This crazy hopium. That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying though. This is what I'm saying. So twofold. You have extended the amount of Dandadan, like the amount that you're going to be into Dandadan. You've extended its continuation by a week, and you also know that you're getting better quality content as well. So think about that. Art external. Why? What the hell? No. Why? No, you did not just tell me to look at that. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. I'm sorry, that's crazy. Weird boy, what the hell, my dude? That's crazy. What is this? No. Yo, that Pinocchio it goes bad. Oh shit. Where did my Dandadan go? Not now, Firefox. God damn it, I lost my place. I've been cursed. Where was I? Alright, we're here. The stick. This is it. Yeah, I know. Let Yukinobo-san rest. That's what I'm saying. You know, just let the guy cook, man. Let the guy cook. You know? I don't know. I just I understand that was a quite a big rant there. That was quite a big rant there on my end. I'm very passionate. I'm very passionate about it. You know, we have not finished the chapter yet. No, we've not finished the chapter yet. What is it? We're at nearly 2 hours in. That's crazy. That is wild. You know. But yeah. Anyway, like I was saying, I'm just. Like, maybe if this whole thing turns out to be absolute dog shit in the end, fine, all right. You can make an effigy of me and burn it out back. I don't care, right? But God forbid a guy has a little bit of hopium running through his veins. You know, sometimes I'm just here huffing on that hopium like crazy, and that isn't my fault. You know, I just want to believe in this crazy fucking world. By the way, you've got very few things really out there that are just going right all the time. All right, just fucking let me latch onto something. Like, fucking let me latch onto something, people. You know, God forbid that a guy latches on and puts all of his eggs in one basket. God forbid a guy puts all of his eggs in one basket. I also find it difficult to define something just by its ending as well. I mean, unless it's really bad. Like, yeah, no, I mean, like, even something like Game of Thrones, I still think seasons 1 through 4 are fucking fantastic. And I'd happily watch any of that. But then after that, it's like, yeah. But that's a completely different topic, right? I don't know. A quality opium dealer has to get high on his own supply. No, he's right. This is what I'm saying. I don't know. I think that there's a lot of room for nuance that is being kind of ignored by the fact that I think that there's a lot of really excellent things here that are being ignored because people seem to think Okarun should just be like immediately know exactly what to do. Like, he's inside all of the other characters' heads. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, no, this is what I'm saying. Yeah, with the proper source material, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, watching seasons 1 through 4 of that are really good, and I would never take that away from it just based on in fact, there's a lot of season 5 that's also really good. Your voice note. I will listen to voice message after we've done here. Where is it? Okay. We need to actually get through the rest of this chapter. So, where were we? The powers, yes. So they said that he's a liar. So obviously they're tuned into something. They're tuned into something that they're tuned into something here that we may not be, right? It makes you wonder whether or not CSG was just testing Okarun in regards to asking him to surrender his powers, right? You know? Yeah. I was something interesting about the Attack on Titan thing. I haven't actually read it, so I don't know a damn thing. But I did read recently that the author kind of regrets how he ended it. Again, I haven't actually read it or watched it. I should do. I know that. I'm late to the party, I know. But look, I've still got to finish. I've still got to read Chainsaw Man. A long chapter support. Fuck you, Toaster. How about that? No, it's because I got sidetracked there. I got sidetracked there with a talking about the arc and talking about Dandadan more generally, right? I got into rant territory. Also, for the record, guys, I just want to specify, and I know that this is like not really relevant to anything that we're talking about, how much better does the stream look? How much better does it look since I actually figured out how to work the camera? Look at it. It looks so much better. I'm not overexposed or anything. The background is all faded out. It looks great. I'm looking over here because this is where my other monitor is, where I can see what's happening on the stream, and it looks great. I'm so happy. You know, it looks like a new camera. You know, it looks very good. I'm very pleased with it. You know. Thanks, guys. You can't see the Vamnola. You can. She's right there. You can see her perfectly. Yeah, I was gonna say. You know? I wonder if we can change the color. Look, that even looks pretty good. Oh, thanks, support. Appreciate you. Look, and because I'm far enough away from the background, it doesn't... Well, I look a bit washed out on those colors, to be honest with you. But pink's cute. Remember when we changed colors for the first time during the thingy arc? I just clicked my fingers and it was perfect. Yeah, the Kaiju arc thing where it's great. That was exciting. Blue arc, yeah. Pink arc, Ida arc. Anyway. But yes, no, anyway, I was just me kind of bragging about the setup for just a second there, just because like this took a lot of work. This is like 3 hours worth of trying to figure out how to use my camera, right, that you're looking at here. So I just wanted to kind of like make people aware of it, you know. And it's very distracting as well because the comments are here and my camera display is here and the camera itself is here. So I always look in this direction. Partially because I'm reading your guys' thingies, partially because I can't help but just occasionally drift over and watch what I'm doing, so I can see what you guys are seeing as well, right? I don't know what to tell you. Is that vanity? Anyway, the chapter. He pulls out his scissors. Now, look. Alright, Pickle, catch you. I don't know what... The fact that he's got scissors, to me, maybe he fucking killed Kinta. Alright, now, I know that we keep talking about Kinta having his hair cut and getting some new style. Maybe he's fucking dead. Maybe Kinta is just fucking dead. And that was blood. And it wasn't dye. It was just blood. He killed his ass. I don't know. I'll tell you what, though. Ida is most likely going to be in a bit of an awkward spot. He's going to be most likely in an awkward spot because he cuts... His whole thing is having scissors. Her whole thing is using hair. So I've actually... Guys... Me and Tatsu, okay, we've been communicating a little bit about the next week's chapter. We've been communicating about next week's chapter just a little bit, and I can show off a panel. He said I can show off a panel from it for next week's chapter if you guys want to see it. Do you guys want to see it? You want to see a chapter from a panel from next week's chapter? Because he said I could show you guys it. It looks like this. This is it. What do you think? Obviously, the fight doesn't go her way. You know? But, hey. It's looking pretty good. She's making it work. She's rocking it. This is what happens. This is what is going to happen to her next week. No, Tatsu sent me it. He said that please show this off. He said, please, Rook, please show this off on your stream. And then he also said that also your Discord is the best place on the internet for Dandadan, and everybody watching, everybody should join the Discord. Anybody that's watching should join the Discord, whether you're a lurker or whether you're actually a commenter. He said, you know, he said it was crazy. He said, Patreon link in the description. Join my Patreon as a free member to get access to the Discord. It's the best place on the internet for Dandadan. He said that, not me. That's Tatsu that said that. You can, if you want, you can disrespect the creator if you want to, if that's your kind of person, and don't join. But hey, you know, whatever. That's not my business. You know. No, he didn't say Tatsu's Discord. He said mine. Alright, you just didn't understand it because you weren't listening properly. Anyway, he says that he doesn't like to fight, but when he fights without mercy. That's just like the description that they used for the Brella Boy, right? Of noble fools. Anyway, Ida gets knocked back, and the floor goes all slippery because of this fucking nightmare. Because of this goddamn nightmare. This is a nightmare. This is horrible. I'm sorry, but this is horrible. This is just... I don't know what the fuck to even say anymore. This is horrible. Hideous. It's a hideous thing. This is a horrible, hideous thing. I don't know why he's licking the floor. I feel like him licking the floor is what made it slippery. I'll tell you what, though. I'll tell you what, right? Just while we're here talking about it, this is not dissimilar, and I know that I feel like we're saying this every week now, this is not dissimilar from the Serpo arc, because when they were in the water, they couldn't use their powers and launch an attack effectively because of the fact that there was water everywhere, right? So they couldn't get the necessary traction. It's kind of the same thing. It's kind of similar, right? And Okrun, oh my god, Okrun and Ida are paired up initially, it could be possible that Ida's going to get smacked out of the fight somehow. And then it's just going to be Okurun and Momo, and they're going to work together to figure the way out of it. And we're going to get that scene where they talk to each other, right? They're going to get that scene where they talk to each other and they reaffirm their trust and they reforge their broken bond. I don't know. I know that it must be a little bit like we are imagining things to be identical. I don't think we are here, right? I think the setup here is intentionally related. I mean, fucking Peeny Weenie's here, dude. Peeny Weenie's here as well. I don't know, dude. It feels like we are in similar territory by design, right? I just don't see this being an invention of our brains. You know? Are they going to start playing? Who knows? That's a good question. You know? To club some seals. That's true. He might do that. You know, this is one of the rare cases where that's acceptable. You know? Genuinely, I think that this is... Look, the setup, I feel like we've been saying it a lot, that obviously there are a lot of kind of reverberations, a lot of related elements to where we're at with the current kind of context. This feels too related, right? It feels too much like the same setup. I just don't see it not being it. I don't know. I mean, everything we've done, this arc basically told us, at the beginning of this arc, it basically told us that they were redoing all of the old stuff. So much of the visuals have been the same. So much of the visuals have been the same as they were before. I just, as far as I'm concerned, it seems obvious. You know? Exactly. You know, I this is it, Matt. Exactly. I'm glad that you feel better, Sky, about it after today's chapter. I just think that we're going to get that kind of situation. I feel like it would be the most obvious. Like each week, every week that we've gotten closer and closer to what I assume is going to be the kind of crescendo of this arc, emotionally speaking, it feels to me every single week that we move on, the chances of things happening how we've envisioned them happening increases rather than decreases. It feels like the likelihood that we're going to end up in that situation with something that mirrors that conversation that they had in the Serpo arc, I feel that this is I feel like this is going to, like, every single week is getting closer to that being more likely to happen. Like, it's almost a guarantee that is where we're heading with this. And you know what? It will be cathartic, right? It helps that GG... Yeah, exactly. It'll be a cathartic thing for me. I feel like this will be a huge, huge moment for us. Genuinely. I think it will be a huge, huge moment. It'll be amazing. It'll be an amazing moment. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, no, Nevin, I'm very pleased that you've been enjoying the Discord and stuff, because, you know, I want to kind of bolster positivity towards things. I mean, this is not... I don't know why people act like this is going to be that this is such a negative trajectory for the story. Dandadan, whilst it has elements of the plot that feature cruelty, right? There's story beats that feature cruelty. There are characters who are cruel. There are characters who are just fucking awful bastards. Overall, Dandadan, as far as the characters are concerned, is not a cruel story. Dandadan is a kind story. This is the kind of story that you get invested in, and it doesn't want to beat you up for that kind of investment. It's not the kind of story where you're going to get some unexpected end point for it. I just don't believe that. Dandadan's end point, as far as I'm concerned, is going to have a lot of positivity in it, but it's also going to end exactly how you imagine it ending. Okuru and Momo are not... It's not a secret, you know? Like, it's not a secret that these two are going to be together in the end of the series. It's just not. It's literally the point of the series. I just don't see why people can't give it time to get there, you know? It's not... This is one of those rare situations where it's genuinely not about the destination. Where we're heading, you don't need to know... You don't need to know a damn thing about Dandadan specifically to know where this is going. It's obvious where it's going. It's about how we get there. This is one of those stories that it really, really fucking matters how we get there, because that's the only thing that's up for grabs. You know, the destination is like the course is set. You know, straight on till morning. There's no question. We just need to enjoy getting there. If you're not enjoying the ride, there is literally no point, because it's like it's not fucking unexpected the way that the stories, like the characters, are going to unfold, right? Despite the fact that the actual plot is batshit crazy, you know? Yeah, exactly. Scaly, exactly. Like, and the fact that we're in this, that's how love starts, you know? Exactly. The fact that the parallels here are so powerful and so tightly kind of woven with their original point, to me anyway, is just overtly a good thing. Like that to me, I love seeing that, because it there is a nuance involved in it as well, right? You know? 20 more minutes to catch up in the Discord. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that, Matt. Yeah, you got me. You got me, Tarantado. He got me. Exactly. No, Sarah. Yeah, that's exactly it. Exactly. I just I don't know. To me, I find I'm tired of people being just negative about it. I just don't get it. And I'm glad that I don't have to go into those places. Like, part of a lot of the reason that I made the Discord, outside of well, no, not the Discord, the channel. The main reason I created the channel is because I struggled to communicate with a lot of the people on the Reddit, right? Because if you weren't saying something that was kind of tailored to the preferences of the mass there. And that wasn't always negative. It was just hard to get visibility because of that. And that's part of the platform. That's algorithms, right? Like, obviously. But I don't know. I don't believe that you can necessarily taking the breadth of someone's opinion from a post or a comment. And I think that everybody deserves to be heard in regards to what it is they love about something. I mean, there's nothing much more pure than that, is there? Really? So I don't know. I just don't know why people have to take it so fucking negatively. It's tiresome. It's exhausting. I mean, I don't know. I feel like we don't need to fight to kind of like have that opinion at this point. I'm glad that we have a space here that we can do this, you know. Yeah, I mean, admittedly, like, the Reddit at that point wasn't just negative, right? Like, it wasn't just a negative thing. It's just I struggled getting proper communication with people just because of the fact that if you didn't have a popular comment or you weren't early in the comment thread, then you'd get sunk, you know? I don't know. I mean, it doesn't really matter one way or the other, really. It's their platform. It's their community. They can do what they like with it. For me, I suppose patience is one thing, I think, but just enjoying the series is another, I think. Like, rather than just always waiting for it to go the way that you want it to go. Yeah, it's just not the right register for me. I'd rather talk about why I care about something, what it is I'm excited for. And if something is wrong, or I really think that something is bad, I'll say it, right? I won't dwell on it, but I'll say it, you know? And we're kind of in a point here. We're kind of at a point here. I believe that we're quite lucky, in my opinion, that it's being written how it's being written, right? Like, if you're going to do if you're going to revisit things that people kind of consider to be iconic moments in the series, right? So the Serpo arc stuff is iconic. The Okarun, when he was running after he turned down Vamola, right? When he ran after being turned down by Momo in this arc, that the visuals there were identical. Iconic moments that are being paralleled, reverberated, re-shown to us in a new context so that we can understand the breadth of what's happened and what's happening in combination with each other, to see the whole entirety of the story in the scope of these moments, right? It's almost like a connective tissue that connects the now to all the way back then, right? Like, I think that is something that is almost a very difficult thing to pull off, just because of the fact that it can easily turn into self-referential, into a kind of self-referential kind of nostalgia baiting kind of thing, right? And I find a lot of nostalgia baiting exhausting, right? I don't necessarily want to be it to be rammed down your throat about, oh, this has happened before kind of thing. But seeing these things and being able to piece together the similarities without the story kind of going, oh, this is familiar, isn't it? It's like, that to me is very deft writing, and more interesting than just saying, oh, this is just like when this happened last time in the Serpo arc. Like, you know what I mean? Or when Okarun's running, it's like, oh, this reminds me of when I ran, when I did that thing. I don't need that. You don't need that. The story treats you as astute enough to see the similarities, to piece together the how it is paralleled. Piece together the parallels. You know? See the subtleties. And I think that treats you... It treats you... as a reader, it rewards you for identifying the things that have been done before, why they were done before, and how bringing it forward to now can recontextualize the scene. Especially as Momo's amnesia becomes this important through line, and you're piecing together and putting down all of these bricks once again to build the same wall, but you kind of have an idea of that. If we've seen it before and it's being added to the story, and Momo and Okarun are apart from each other, all that it's trying to tell you in reusing those visuals and those moments is that it's happening again. They're going the same way as they did before, just differently. You know? And when it happens here again, you're going to see it. It's the story. It's Tatsu telling you that moment was important for Momo and Okarun's relationship as it was developing. It's happened again. Because they are heading the same direction. Because that's what it is. They're just fucking compatible as shit, dude. You know? And the fact that the same bricks are being put in the wall means it's going to look the same by the end. You know? No, it's definitely not random. It's definitely not random. I don't believe it. I just don't see how it could be. Yeah, it feels like that it has confidence in you as an audience member. Exactly. This is where I'm at. Oh my god. Tim Kai. 15 months. Holy shit. Holy shit. Thank you for being subscribed and a member for 15 months, Tim Kai. Absolute legend around these parts, Tim. Thank you. Been throwing roses for 15 months. You know, that's and you know what, guys? Another thing that's worth also acknowledging is that the past 15 months of being able to do this, or 16 months of being able to do this, it's been fucking awesome. It's been a blast. I've enjoyed it. I've been enjoying it. I enjoy, like, when Tim jumps in, when anybody jumps in. It's exciting for me. This is a great format. We've grown a lot as a community, and the background looks better. The camera looks better. The concurrent viewers is more stable and higher than it was before. No, not my narrative. Don't distract from my narrative. I'm just, you know what I mean? I'm just happy that we have this space to just talk about things in a controlled environment that we can enjoy, you know, rather than having to rely on a different format or somebody else's decision, you know. You know what I mean? Like, it's been a very fun experience overall, and you know, your Wonder Fizz, the Mighty Empire, of course. It's so distracting that people's names are different. Right, amazing. Right, okay. Now I know who to attribute the takes to. Oh, 10 memberships. Thank you, Tim. Timothy, my boy. My boy. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's very meaningful. Honestly, I still don't know exactly what the right way to respond to membership donations is. I'm just it's just it's a thrill every single time. Genuinely, it's a thrill. Throw the man some roses, people. Throw the man some roses. Yeah, the subscriber count has always been a kind of steady growing thing. It does look like we're probably going to hit 8,000 subs next month, which is really exciting. I don't really put too much stock in the growth of the subscriber number. The closer to 10k we get, the more that I'm nervous, because obviously of our agreement. Our agreement when we hit 10k, which is terrifying. Thank you, Tim. Thank you. It's good to see you, by the way. But no, I'm not looking forward to the agreement at all. I haven't even got an outfit for it yet. Oh my god, I've still got a bit of time. I need to start working out before then, because I want to look good. If I'm gonna do it, I want to look good, you know. I want to be cute, you know. Bathing wear. Look, I could probably get it on the thingy. Yeah, no. So the if Jax can do it, you can as well. Thanks, Senpai. Appreciate you. No, see, that's what I need. I need more of that positive affirmation. Basically, the agreement was, it wasn't written down, so maybe, you know, whatever. When we hit 10k subs, I'm going to do a stream in a maid outfit. I didn't think, in my defense, right? In my defense, I didn't think that we'd get to 10k, let alone in like the space of 2 years, right? Because at this rate, and things have slowed down a lot since then. At this rate, if we hit another banger of a video, we could maybe hit 10k this year. If we hit another banger of a video, right? I didn't expect it to grow that quickly. Look at the camera. I know. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things that you say, but you don't realize that you know what I mean. That it's gonna come back. It's like a boomerang. I threw it, and I was like, "Well, that's gone forever. See you later, forever." Well, yeah, season 3. I think that we maybe will get a bit of an uptick, but that's like a whole year away. And I tell you what, some of you may not remember it because you weren't here or whatever, but last year during season 2, I was pumping out videos like crazy, right? The moment that Momo ISA fell in love video, that video was, I think it came out on like the week of the episode. So the episode came out on the Thursday, and I think I released that on either the Saturday or I released it, so July 27th. So that was a Monday. No, it released on a Monday then. So I pretty much just worked on it all weekend. I wrote it Friday and some of Saturday, and then just edited it on whatever. Same with a couple more of the videos in that period of time. So it was pretty crazy. I was just fucking working my ass off on it, and it was great. I fucking loved it. It was so good. I really, really enjoyed that because people were talking about Dandadan. I was really hyped about being able to write about Dandadan. It was just a great period of time, you know. It was a lot of stress, though, I suppose. Right? It was a lot of stress at that point in time. But it was good stress, you know. It was really good stress. Like, I enjoyed that kind of inspiration, I suppose, is what you would call it. Having the inspiration to just kind of work on content like that. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate that. There was a lot of stress of it was kind of like self-imposed desire to kind of make the most of people's eyeballs as possible, but also like there was something really inspiring about every single week they would release something, and I would be absolutely like thrilled enough about something in the episode that I'd want to write something about it. There are still things now. There are still things now that I wish I had written about in that period of time, which, you know, I can still write about now. It's just it's not the exact same kind of period of time, so there's less people interested and involved in it, right? I mean, there are a lot of different things I want to write about. It's just that getting the time to do it is difficult, because I've got like a whole actual life to deal with as well, right? Like a job. Can you imagine that? No, yeah. So the Are You in Love with the Are You in Love with Anybody video is actually quite funny. Basically, I was working on the video about Seiko, how Seiko ISA holds Dandadan together, which I probably would rename as something else now, right? But don't say that word. Yeah, sorry guys. No, sorry, I shouldn't have said that word. But I was working on that video, and I had to go on a work trip to Barcelona, and I knew that I wouldn't get it out in time because it was quite a long video. So I was working on that, and I knew I wouldn't get it out in time. And we kind of tend to do, whenever I release a Dandadan video, we'll do premieres for it. So we all kind of watch it together on the channel as it releases. It's kind of like a little mini event for us. And I knew that I wouldn't get it out at the time that I promised, right? So I was just kind of like, right, okay, I just spend Sunday, like do something else, see what I can do. And so I put together a really basic music video. It took like an hour, 2 hours max to just get it done. And I just released it onto the I released it onto the Discord server, just as a kind of, hey guys, what do you think? And then people liked it, so I was just kind of like, I'll just make a thumbnail and throw it up on the channel, because like whatever, who gives a shit, right? Like it's just like a thing. It was one of those things I was hesitant about at first because it doesn't match the rest of the channel at all. It's now the most watched video by a fucking huge margin, right? Like it at this rate it will hit 1 million views on its own, which is absurd. Absolutely absurd, because it took like less than 2 hours to make it. Like genuinely, it's funny how that stuff works. I'm still amazed by it. You're a millionaire. Well, yes, exactly. Don't eat the rich. Don't eat the rich. I'm rich in views. Not money, but views. It's funny because it's obviously like a 2-minute video, so it makes nothing. It makes nothing. Not to mention that I got a copyright issue with it as well. The chaotic beauty video, I don't remember exactly because it was quite a long time ago. I wrote it very quickly. I wrote it in the space of like a few days, because I was like, that first video for me is like, it's like a wonderful kind of moment in time, because I've spoken about this a lot. But I was like in a bit of a depression, bro. I was in a bit of a depression. So I was kind of just like existing. You know what I mean? Some of you must know what I mean. You were just kind of existing, trying to figure out what the fuck, you know? And I remember that I was just on Netflix. And I think it had been 2 episodes in or something like that. I was going down Netflix, and I saw, I'm going to post it in the live chat. I saw this face, right? There was the hallway scene in episode 1 where Momo does this face. You know that one? You know the one? Of course you know the one. And I was like, okay, let's go. Right? Watched it. Intro was fucking fire. Right? And I think it was the first 2 or maybe 3 episodes were out. And I watched it and I was like, that's amazing. Alright, see you, Medley. Bye-bye. And I was like amazed, right? It was absolutely incredible. And I finished it, these 3 episodes, and I was like, and I'd never read manga before, right? I don't really love most anime. I don't watch that much anime, but I watched it. I was like, I don't know what it is, but there was something in here that was just like, I needed to kind of know more. And like I was unemployed as fuck at the time, right? So I read the next like one, I think it was like the next day, something like that. I read the whole thing in a day, right? I read the whole fucking manga in a day, and it was amazing, right? My brain was like hooked on this shit. I was like, that what the fuck did I just witness, right? And I don't know what, like at that point in time, it was really hard for me to know exactly what it was that clicked, because I kept going back and reading parts of it that I really, really liked, and I just kept going back to it, constantly going back to it throughout the day, and I was just like, what the hell, man? Why the fuck did that click so much? And I was working on something else, right? I had just released an Acura video that had underperformed, and I honestly wasn't that in love with it anyway. It was too clinical, and I didn't really have the. I was just trying to make something because I felt like I wanted to put something out into the world. I wanted to put something out into the world, so I just made it, thinking that it would make me feel better, like this Acura video. But it got copyright struck and taken down by whatever company was responsible for it, and it was miserable. It was a miserable experience. But I then decided that I was working on a completely different video, more like I have a script that's just locked away in the vault, in the rookie vault, that is like thousands and thousands of words on Metal Gear Solid, right? That's not seen the light of day yet because it doesn't really match my current style. Maybe I'll go back to it at some point, right? But anyway, so I was midway through that, and I was just like, I need to drop this. I need to drop this shit ASAP because my brain is hooked on these two characters, and I need to express why, right? Like I need to write about it and something about it. And so I just went and I wrote the whole thing in like, I want to say like 3, maybe 4 days, but the actual process of making the video took probably around 2 weeks. Maybe a bit less than 2 weeks. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I didn't know how to make a thumbnail. So I just kind of like threw something together. I deliberated about the name for a while. For when it was first released, for the first, I want to say day, the video was called The Beautiful Chaos. The Beautiful Chaos of Momo and Okurun's Love. Right? That's what it was initially called, but the more that I looked at it, the more I was like, it's not... If you put chaos as the kind of noun here, and beautiful as the adjective, it's kind of like... It's not really the point. It's like not chaotic at its core, it's beautiful at its core. So it got renamed to Chaotic Beauty, and then it took off. And it's like, you know... Alternate universe, yeah. It's yeah, that's some deep lore. Least interesting thing ever, right? This is like an old man. This is like an old man reciting about his stamp collection. You know what I mean? That was the style back in the day. Oh yeah, did you see the name change, August? That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, like, it's just enough of a change that it's very minuscule to most people, right? Hello, Wary Exile, you seem wary. Imagine if you hadn't renamed it. That's what I'm saying. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Stamps are cool. I got no problem with stamps. I have no problem with stamps. Although I do wish that we'd bring back wax seals on letters. It's a waste. But anyway, yeah. So I don't remember who asked the question, and I know that I've just been talking about it for the past like 10 minutes, maybe 15. But yeah, there you go. Living up to his name. Homer J. Bouvier living up to his name, by the way. Holy shit. What a guy. This is the one guy. But anyway, yeah, no, so I went on about it. I don't remember who asked. I don't remember who asked. But there you go. There's your answer, whoever asked. Yeah. But anyway, I suppose my point is, what we were talking about by and large was the nature of the nature of that period of time, right? Like season 2. So I'm quite excited for season 3 to come around, because it means that you can kind of just jump on that creation train a little bit, you know? Do you know what I mean? We're talking about Pogs. Nice try. Nice try. But it does introduce you to the special kind of hell, doesn't it? You know? Oh yeah, I just went to the earliest comments. I just went to the earliest comments there, Orbis. I can see your comment. It's a very nice comment. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for subscribing for so long, by the way. What the fuck? Thank you for subscribing for so long. That's crazy. I would have had like 100 subscribers at that point. Like maybe 140 max. You know? Season 3 is going to be huge. Yeah, season 3 is going to be huge. I'm going to disappear into that so fucking good. You know when they do the Vamola stuff? When they do the Vamola stuff, it's going to be fucking real. You know? That stuff, that shit connects with me deeply. Anybody who's seen the Space Globalist Arc Retold video, like, honestly, like, I don't think that's my... I don't think that's my favorite. I don't think that's my favorite video that I've done. I don't think. Like, I think probably the Okrun one is. But that, to me, is a really exciting kind of... Like I really enjoyed that because of how much you can do with that arc. There's so much that you can do with that arc, creatively speaking, you know? And it is very heart-wrenching when you let yourself kind of look past just the fights, you know? And you focus on some of the character stuff, and you focus... Like, Vamola's backstory is tragic, it's relevant, and I think once you kind of... once you let yourself kind of see parallels to now and feel for the characters as though they are real, it does add more weight to everything that you're reading and watching, right? I'm very excited for how they approach that topic. It's going to be difficult to approach that topic, but I'm excited for it. Weary Exile, thank you. No, the Kane video did very well. The Kane video did very well. I'm very pleased with how it did. I'm fine with the Dandadan videos doing like 8 or 9K, generally speaking. I mean, like, it's really is my own fault for how I package some of my content. I package some of my content with a kind of a vibe, I suppose, of the people who are already in the community, are the types of people who will enjoy the content being presented, how I present it. I do think that I need to get better at packaging the Dandadan content in a way that's more appealing to people, click-wise, you know? But it is what it is. It is what it is, right? Oh, she has the longest backstory by far, for sure. You know, red word. Did I say job? Did I say job? Yeah, yeah. No, I think that they all do it. I think that Vamola's backstory is something that I think they need to really get right. I think a whole episode dedicated to that would be necessary, honestly. I don't think that you could do it in half an episode without taking away something. I mean, obviously in the current kind of climate right now, it's a difficult subject to broach, but I think it's more important than it's ever been to broach it. the nature of the topic is crucial, you know, is crucial to get right. And I think that for me anyway, it's not going to change one way or the other my perspective of Dandadan, but depending on how they do it and how much they put into it, I think that for me it shows the kind of tenacity that they're willing to showcase as a studio. If they don't have if they don't do it to the degree that I think is necessary to really make it hit, I'd be a bit disappointed. You know, I want it to be a very painful experience because it is a very important thing to discuss. Yeah, exactly. No, that's it. I think one episode. I think it should be one episode. Any more than one episode, I think, would be an error, because then you break up the flow. I want it to be like a mini movie almost, right? Oh wow, Weary Exile, thank you. Welcome to Serpo Tier. Welcome. You have a Seiko icon, so welcome back. Perhaps is a better way of phrasing it. Is perhaps a better way of phrasing it. Welcome back. Also, welcome back to you, Pickle. I see that you're here. But anyway, the point is that I am excited to see what they do with that. Genuinely really excited because it's going to be a very interesting topic to broach. It honestly is just such a. This is what I mean though when I talk about Dandadan in the capacity that I talk about it, right? Because it's like, I think that it's not afraid to pull its punches. Like it's not going to pull its punches rather. Like it is the kind of series that, whilst again not cruel, in regards to its characters and the development that they go through, it does feature a lot of really heavy topics, right? Especially with people who are sidelined or socially undesirable. So I'm look, let's see, you know. But I think that it has the potential to really, really be a powerful episode, if they don't pull their punches with it, you know. Yeah, I mean, for me, one episode is more about a flow kind of thing. Like if you have a week in between, the story elements of it aren't going to be carried over to the next episode. I think having it as this self-contained thing, I think would be really important, you know, and finding the right way to do that. Finding the right way to do that is going to be difficult, you know, it's going to be very difficult. But I'd love to see it. I mean, they're a very talented studio. You know? Yeah, no, you're right, Tim. You're right. I mean, it's also really cool that Tatsu, just in the manga is willing to put all of that into it, right? You know. Yeah, exactly. This is what I'm saying. Yeah, Orbis for sure. Yeah, I think that this would be really important. But hey, I mean, any Dandadan is great for me. I'm just really excited to get back to it. You know, like honestly, you know what else as well? Another thing that's really cool is the fact that obviously things were really, really, explosive during that period of time where season 2 was out, and part of me was a little worried as well that the time between seasons would be an immense amount of downtime for the community. That clearly was not very well founded because everybody's engaged. Everybody's engaged still. People are here. We're all chilling out. We're all just doing our thing. And that to me is really cool. the fact that we don't need to worry too much about that, you know, like we're like halfway there. Like we're like almost halfway there, I feel. So that's pretty cool, isn't it? Like that was obviously not a well-founded problem, you know. Yeah. So I don't know. Well, I'm honestly I wouldn't be able to run things on my own, you know. I know that's really cool as well, Orbis. Like I feel like because it used to be that whenever we'd get to the end of the chapter, the views would slash in like half. But it hasn't really done that, and it feels like we've got a decent group of people who are just kind of here for the being here, and enjoy a bit more than just the chapter, and that to me is really gratifying. I really appreciate that because it's difficult. I mean, I'm not complaining about being in the position that I'm in. Talking to you guys is really a privilege for me to be able to do that, but it is kind of difficult at times to kind of just be like, okay, sit down and just yap continuously for nearly 3 hours. It's a difficult thing, right? Like it can be quite tricky. So the fact that there are people who respond well to that, to me, is very exciting, and that's all that matters, you know. I'm glad to hear that your commute is more bearable. I'm very glad. I'm very glad. I prefer her hair green. I prefer her hair green for sure. She's an alien. Let's make her an alien, you know. 100% green. I agree. Nev. But as I was saying, it's not just me that keeps things like running and stuff. Like a lot of the best way to communicate with me and with everybody else and everything like that is on the Discord. Patreon link in the description. Join as a free member to get access to the Discord through the Patreon post with the link in it. Discord is the best place on the internet for Dandadan, and you know, at first we said that as like a bit, like it was just a haha. It actually is. It actually is the best place on the internet for Dandadan. The people there are amazing, but that is the engine of all of this. That's the engine of all of this. And that is the people there, the moderators, especially the moderators. The moderators over there are the ones who really keep things running. The moderators over there are really the ones who keep things running, not me. And that's the engine behind the channel at this point, you know. I wouldn't have created nearly as many videos. I wouldn't have created nearly as many videos if it wasn't for that. So yeah, that's very kind of you, Sky. I mean, the thing is, if you knew me in real life, you would just know that I just don't stop yapping. I think that's the thing. Yapper's gonna yap. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, right. Okie doke. Right, guys. I have seen that as well. I've seen that as well. I mean, like, I part of me is concerned that they're going to make the switch over to his current hairstyle. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I kind of like his season 2 hair, so I hope they don't change it. But that's just my preferences. We'll see. We'll see. I don't want to insult the Lord Tatsu. Anyway, guys. Anyway, I am gonna get going now. But this has been fun. As always, this has been fun. I'm working on content for the channel. I don't know when it will be ready to go. I've been fairly busy, just generally speaking. So we shall see. We shall see. But yeah, I'm gonna get going, guys. So thanks for joining, guys. I will see you guys either on Friday on Twitch, or I will see you guys next week on Monday for more Dandadan. Bye.